into downtown proper.
So I'll quit bad-mouthing Susie Aaron and switch instead to my gossip about Hereford House. Well, there was a fire, and the fire was declared an accident. Yeah, but it never
Arson,
was.
actually.
Yeah, well, accident because they couldn't find how it started.
Yeah.
Okay. And my gossip is that the Hereford House restaurant chain, which is a fine restaurant, and I've always enjoyed going there, has recently expanded and did not need to be there anymore. Their flagship was not needed anymore. So it was coincidental that the exact time that the restaurant burned down, that they then opened up an operation here in the Power and Light District.
We're getting to the we're getting to the controversial side of Bill Drummond, and this is I'm glad we could bring this up now. You've been criticized.
I am criticized.
As any figure would get criticized. As we cruise through downtown, we're now at 11th Street and Main.
Yes.
The main part of downtown.
We are at Petticoat Lane. Petticoat Lane references all the cool stores that were around here, Hartsfeld and such.
Is this what Steve means when he's going to tape a guest? Just still looking at when you had tape on your mouth. Yes, I am. This is also the Driving Bondage Show. We bow and gag our guests. Later we'll be whipping and Petticoat Lane. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Petticoat Lane references the district that used to be the major sales district for garments and stuff. So Kansas City was not only the third largest garment maker center in the United States, but our shops around here always had the latest fashion, right up there with Paris and wherever. In fact, one of our slang slogans of the area is Paris on the Plains. Mm-hmm. I know every town...
We have more fountains than Paris.
Yeah, every town says that they're the Paris of America or something like that. But we really had more of the features that would define a Parisian moniker. For instance, we had our clothing industry here. Mm. We also had an industrial base. We made fine art objects here in Kansas City.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were a light manufacturing center. Kansas City always has been a light manufacturing center. If in economy studies, there's different bases that a city has to operate from. Some are service economies. Some are information technology economies. Ours is a light manufacturing base. And that's how come Kansas City has never really suffered like other cities have in downturns and recessions. And God bless us, everyone.
So, no, I didn't say go to the memorial and get taped.
Oh.
President, why does she stop there?
Yeah.
If she had any real ambition, she'd go for Queen or something like that.
Well,
I'm sorry, I can't read very well, and some guy's trying to cut me off back here.
Thank you. I would like to respond to that directly. Erin was elected president of the neighborhood. She served multiple terms until our own term limits kicked in, and then she quit. But then she continued meddling behind the scenes by actually going to city officials and representing herself as this interesting term called past president, meaning, well, I'm not really president now, but I'm still in charge. And she would go, and this is during the Barnes era, which is particularly galling to me, and she represented our neighborhood to the city and council people as being wanting the exact kind of developments that Barnes was purveying. Of course, it was to her gain and her low-life developer friends' gain to have the city buy in.
So now we are segueing rather smoothly, or not so smoothly, into the political side of Bill, which has been getting a lot of attention lately. Can you tell me about the nickname you have gotten, the Glassedger Dude?
Oh, yeah, well, I do like to blog, like all of our friends, and blogging is one of the 5 natures that you cannot deny humans.
And we're in the River Key, by the way.
Oh yeah, fabulous River Key. This has been just a swimming tour of the whole area.
So you're saying about your blog.
Okay, and I do enjoy blogging, and I like to think that when I blog, I come from a point of information or add to a blog. I'm not one of those people like you may have heard or read when their blogs. Oh, I don't like that person, and they don't know.
Attacks.
Yeah,
he's a douchebag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It all has to do with posturing and.
We're in the River Market, by the way.
Oh,
I don't mean to interrupt.
no, it's the greatest place in the world. This place is opening up again. This slummy nightclub where there were knifings and gunshots and stuff like that. I even forgot the name of it already, but it's reopening.
Well, I think all of us would like to think that when we post information on the internet, we're doing it from the perspective of, as you say, information
adding to the light rather than the heat.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm seeing it the other way around in terms of what poses as informed dialogue. It's really degraded into name calling, like you were saying, Steve, and also that it's degraded into.
Yeah, there's some law on the internet discussions that usually by the third name that's been spread around, somebody brings out the Hitler Nazi reference.
Oh yeah.
And now a Hitler, you're now a Nazi, yada yada yada, whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's that's kind of funny in itself because the old wisdom.
Bring him the truck engine. It's hard to take that.
Oh great! I'd love to go. Hey, I'm on it, man. I'd love to go there. In referencing name calling and stuff, there's an old wisdom in law school that the first party to call the other party a Nazi loses. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, actually I have. I've heard that in reference to that rule or law.
Yeah. And now we're coming down into what I call the arts district of Little Italy. And there are several galleries around here, all of which are cool. And my heart is with one particular gallery, which is the name of the building as well, called the For Sale Gallery.
You mean that's not for real?
It is for real. The gallery is for sale, and the building is for sale, and they show the coolest little art shows there. Always enjoyed
this.
This
is one of the greatest places in the city to eat.
The Vietnam Cafe.
Nice women and gentlemen working here. Very, very nice place.
I've had only good times here.
You've eaten here?
Oh yeah, their soups. Well, of course, soup is one of the Vietnamese standbys, but the soup here is especially good. You order a bowl of soup here, and you're committed to an hour. It is a huge.
But it is a very good, delicious hour.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
And you're satisfied when you're done.
It is just, you might as well spend the rest of the
good, it's quick, and it's cheap.
Sleeping, because it is a meal in itself. Just the bowl of soup.
Another unpaid commercial. Anyway, so you're talking about the politics. Namely the person whose name that we're actually talking about, and we won't mince words. His name is Tony. What is it?
Yeah.
Botello? Or is it? How do you pronounce his last name?
Actually, I don't know the exact.
Botello.
Yeah.
He lives in Kansas City. He blogs out of his house, and he's got a very good blog. I like to go to it because you can see information digested in one place.
Yeah.
You know, it's like reading a newspaper. You can get all the links in one place without having to. He does a lot of work for you, and I think he should get paid for it.
Tony has himself accurately described his endeavor as being an entertainment device. He does not try and portray himself as an information source.
And he's very, very outspoken on his opinions.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
And a great deal of time he says, jokes, opinions from Casey
Yeah, if you don't have a sense of humor, something. How does that?
But
If you can't take a joke,
one of your best friends is the target of his ire.
oh yeah. And let me tell you, that's a whole separate episode. But I blog, and it's usually in response to real real social political events. And when I add something to that endeavor, I will try and add either information or an opinion that leads somewhere, rather than just railing, or worse yet, expressing a falsehood. If I say something, yeah, it'll be my opinion, but I won't say something I know is wrong, which is exactly different from the which I call the forces of evil. People who have an agenda, and they will say whatever they can or whatever they feel they can get away with to paint another person or a policy in a bad light, and that angers me quite a bit. There's the one thing that's going to tick me off every single time is the social injustice issue. And when it comes to media, whether it's streaming media or a conventional media, electronic or print, deliberate falsehoods and deliberate misrepresentation of situations are, that's fighting words right there. That is what makes me angry enough to come to blows. And so I am not shy about expressing my distaste and dislike in...
Well, we're entering an era of when people are primarily getting a lot of their news from other sources other than traditional sources, like television, radio, newspaper, are having to compete now with blogs and the internet. And now, you know, like when we watched the presidential watch party in 2004, it was they were not watching the news, they were watching Comedy Central, because they were watching what's the name of that show?
Yeah, the Report. Colbert.
No, not
Colbert.
Not
Report.
well, maybe a little bit of Colbert Report, as they call it, but also the Daily Show.
Yeah.
Was going wall-to-wall coverage.
Okay.
And it was comedy routine. And sure, you can get a lot of information and stuff, but you know, for some people, they're getting their primary news source from an entertainment source. Now, granted that news leads over into entertainment functions as well as, but you know, sometimes when you get somebody who gets on there and they say, I'm blogging and this is all a bunch of jokes, and then they say, but Mayor Funkhauser is a poo-poo head, and he's done this and he's done that, and he's responsible for all this and that. How many people are actually researching what they're reading versus, you know, actually taking it?
Yeah.
But, and you know, whether or not the mayor is good or bad, or his wife is good or bad, or you know, the wife is a co-mayor, all the things they've been saying, my criticism is of that is that, yeah, you can say I'm doing a joke blog and everything, but you know, people are not taking it that way.
No.
They're taking it.
They take it seriously when it says things that should be serious accusations. What it does is it turns the usual procedure of you substantiate a statement with proof. It destroys that whole methodology, because you don't need proof if you're
and you can say, well, it's not my fault. I'm only the blogger. I'm an entertainer.
Yeah.
I'm just telling jokes, and people are taking it seriously. You know,
that's all fine until somebody's eye gets put out. Go get your food. I'll wait for you, and I'll just keep talking if you don't mind. But I promise I won't say any cuss words.
Oh, you don't have to promise that. We can say cuss words. Well, we don't like to say a lot of cuss words. But before I do that, I have to call my mom.
Okay, you do that, and I'm going to read some of the comments that we've had before I launch into my
His talk with
long diatribe.
Bob and Bob's sister, Zencats.
Well, first off,
we're up to 5 viewers now.
I'd like to express my thanks to people who reach out to us and are monitoring this, because I'm thinking that what we got here is akin to the Wright brothers flyer, which, by the way, it took 10 years for the Wright brothers to get their act polished enough to be accepted as a dominant form of aerial transportation.
Ooh, it's yucky out here.
Yeah, welcome to winter. So, we're in that same stage right now with these same kind of interactive technologies. We may be able to do things, but they're not right now accepted as a process, and it might take 5-10 years before it becomes the cell phone or the wristwatch radio or the large television. Oh, look at all that stuff. Okay, and I wanted to say thanks to the writers out there. Going into Zen Cats. It's marginalization. The guy is great. This is by Chrome Tuna. Steve-O, bring him to Truck Hinge, which I've always wanted to